How's it going, everyone? Daniel Rodriguez here, aka Big D. It's time to review another movie. This time it is the classic Ben Affleck first-time superhero movie back in 2003. Of course, Ben Affleck starred as, the main character up above. Jennifer Garner was also in the movie. Michael Clark Duncan and Colin Farrell. This movie was directed by Mark Ryan, the name's right there. I know I didn't get that right. I'm sorry, Mark Steven Johnson. Excuse me for that. I tried to memorize it. I didn't write it down, but Mark Steven Johnson. So 2003. We live in 2015, and I get it. Many people are going to go back to see this movie if they ever do, or people who have never seen this movie, they go and see it and they're like, "What is this? This is stupid. This is a super..." It was 2003. Many people hate this movie. Few love it. Few like it. I am one of those few that like it. I don't think it's a great movie. I don't think it's a really good movie. I know it makes me cringe. A lot of the scenes make me cringe. But there's just something about it that... I saw this movie when I was a kid, of course. Very young, and watching this movie a few days ago brought so much nostalgia. It brought so much of my childhood back, where I was like, I remember that scene. Oh yeah, like it just all went back into my brain, dude. So here we go, guys. I'm gonna give you the pros and the cons, and if you have not seen this movie from 2003, there are gonna be a few spoilers in here. This is a spoiler review, and my personal thoughts, guys, on, well, the movie that kind of turned Ben Affleck down when he was at the high point, and kind of got him a little bit less down. It didn't get him above. That's where he met his future wife, Jennifer Garner, there. Very beautiful. Again, Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin. Colin Farrell as Bullseye. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my spoiler review for Daredevil. Alright, let me get started with the pros first, because I have a lot of cons, but I also have a lot of pros. First off, I gotta say, I love Daredevil's suit. Personally, I love his suit. And yes, I've seen, of course I have all my reviews out for the 2014 Daredevil Netflix series, which was way better than the movie. But still, this was 2003, you gotta think about that. But the suit itself was really good. I never read the Daredevil comic, so I can't tell you how accurate the Daredevil suit is. But all I know is that the Daredevil suit, just for the movie, the whole leather and everything, I did enjoy it. There's not a part of the suit that I'm like, that's stupid, that's horrible. For the time, it looked good on Ben Affleck, man. I think it was a good suit. I think it was, what they could do. I don't think it was a low budget thing. I think it looked good. It was all red, it had the DD. Everything was perfectly fine. I love the suit about it, man. Bullseye in here, Colin Farrell. He is fantastic. Is he over the top? Yes. But is it a cheesy movie? Is it a kind of really stupid movie? Yes, and Colin Farrell doesn't hurt the movie. He makes the movie fun. Every time Colin Farrell is on the screen, you like him. You don't hate him. You're like, this guy again, really? Colin Farrell's pretty badass, man. I don't see a lot of his movies, and I know he's a badass in here. I love his take on Bullseye. I just love it. I know it's very cheesy and over the top, but just, again, he's so crazy that you love him and that you want to see him on screen. He's just a very interesting character. He's a very brutal character, very psychotic, and I love the way that you see that in Colin Farrell's eyes, that he had fun with the character. He probably knew that the movie wasn't going to do as hot at a certain point. He just went all out for it. He did it, and I applaud him for that. Colin Farrell was amazing as Bullseye. Very, very fun. Some of the action in here is actually very fun. I'll talk about the really bad fight scenes in a little bit, but some part of the action in here was fun. Like when Daredevil swinged around the fan and then he was getting shot at, all that kind of stuff was fun. Like that fun little action there, those fun little scenes. Young Matt, when young Matt Murdock was blind, and the way the kid reacted when he was blind and everything, and how realistic that would likely be, how he reacted, all that. The young Matt Murdock was believable. I really enjoyed the young Matt Murdock scenes. Some were really stupid, some were actually very interesting, because it's interesting to see a hero be born of the origins and having, he's blind, but he also has like superhuman powers now. So he's blind, but he's not blind. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could still see with vibrations and everything. Ben's eye look. Ben Affleck, the way, his blind look, the contacts that they use, and the way his eye is like up there and everything, it kind of looks like, well, for the younger kids you don't know, but for the older, let's just be honest here, it looks like, he busted a nut, man. And I'm serious. I love his look, dude. He's just like, I don't know how to do it, man. I think Ben Affleck is really, Jennifer Garner found that attractive. She was like, you know what, I think I'm going to end up marrying you one day. We're going to have kids. And then later on, he would be like, I don't want to be a superhero anymore. And then a few years later, he signs on to be Batman. So, Affleck. Applesauce, bitch. Oh, I like the sound of them apples, Will. Huh. I guess you're not so good, Will Hunting. Anyway, going back to that nostalgia there a few years before Daredevil. But anyway, Ben's eye look, again, the small stuff like that, he was really good at doing that. But so was, Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock as well. He was awesome in there as well, in the Netflix show. The Kingpin, man, Michael Clark Duncan was very underused, but he was awesome in here. Every scene, he owns it. He goes all out for it, man. He's a very big guy. I think he gained a lot of weight for this film. I believe he should have been used way more, man. He's a very talented actor, man. He's a very charismatic actor. When you see him on screen, you like him or you hate him. It's just that simple. Now, the rain look, the rooftop scenes, the way that the cinematography is. When he's on the rooftop and the rain's falling and he's like that, I love little scenes like that. Little things like that are what I like. And there's a lot of rooftop scenes, there's a lot of that cliched type of early 2000s, late 90s type of superhero stuff. But I think for Daredevil, it did work for me. Personally, it worked for me. Jennifer Garner, she was awesome in here as Elektra. I think the new Elektra in season 2 of Daredevil will be awesome and way better. But for what we got, it really, she wasn't the Elektra that the comic books knew. But I think for the most part, she was sexy. She was awesome for what she did, her stunts that she did. I think that most likely Jennifer Garner was good. I don't think she was bad. I think that she was actually a good add-on to the cast and add-on to the crew. Now, some of the effects, like the climbing effects. Now, there is a lot of CGI in this movie. Of course, it's the early 2000s, like I said. I don't like that he could jump from like roof to roof type of stuff and he needs to swing around. I don't like that. But I do like the whole climbing at times. Like some of the effects, some of the CGI effects do work, and then some don't. And the ending shot where he jumps down and he's like, even though it's really stupid, where I'm like, oh, I hate how he does that, but I love how Daredevil falls down and he's like falling, and then he gets his whip thing and he's like, whoosh, and then like, I'm assuming he's gonna swing around like kind of like Spider-Man. I don't know. I was about to do but that ain't Spider-Man. Spider-Man, radioactive Spider-Man. Y'all remember that? I know you do. Don't lie. I grew up watching that animation so bad. It's amazing. Anyway, back to Daredevil. The whole ending shot, I like until, and then the credits came out. I was like, oh god, the credits. Finally. Now the cons, which the cons, you can't see, but it goes from there to there, there to there, there to there. So here we go. First off, Elektra stabs Daredevil, and then he's down the whole time. Remember when Elektra stabs him like in the shoulder area, and then she regrets it, and then Bullseye comes and they fight on the rooftop? He is down the whole time. The whole freaking time. You were only stabbed in the shoulder. Now, clean through, of course. But get up and help you're the girl you like. Go and help Elektra. What are you doing? You're just kind of there like, get up and help, man. Seriously. You're not out of the count yet. You still survived after that. So you obviously had enough to fight Bullseye and Kingpin, so why couldn't you help Elektra? You got her killed. Congratulations, Daredevil. Also, the bully scene, that whole fight there when Matt Murdock was young, I dislike it so much. I hate that bully scene so much, man. I think it's really stupid. The Elektra versus Daredevil fight in front of all the kids at recess. I cringe every time I see that. I'm like, no, it's horrible, it's stupid. Do not fight in front of a bunch of kids. You're not even in costumes. You guys are really... She's fighting a blind guy. I mean, do I need to go on? Not much Kingpin. Michael Clark Duncan's very underused, like I said. I don't like the final fight between Daredevil and Kingpin. Sure, there's a few cool effects. There's a few cool shots of water. Other than that, it's not that great of a final fight. He kind of breaks his two knees or injures it, and then he kind of down for the count. Didn't like that much. The directing of the action. I didn't like the way that the director handled the action scenes, because some of the action scenes were okay, but I mean, this is the fast directing, the fast cinematography, all that, it didn't work for me. It was too fast paced. It was too, you couldn't see really what was going on. The lighting was boom boom flickering off and on, so that didn't work for me as well. Some effects didn't work, like the church scene versus Daredevil versus Bullseye. There are a few effects in there that just didn't work for me. Of course, again, early 2000s, but it just, so much CGI in that one scene. There's not much Franklin Nelson, played by John Favreau. I say Favreau, but John Favreau. I love him. He directed Chef and everything. He's an awesome director. But John F. He plays Franklin Nelson in here. I guess that's Foggy. He really wasn't needed in here because you didn't get to see much Matt Murdock, and that's what I was disappointed with. You never really got to see much of Matt Murdock. Justice is blind. That's all you got to see him really saying, do a few things. But really, Matt Murdock's not really in this movie. Why does he sleep in water, for one thing, just to drown out the sound? Why, are you a vampire or something? That's what I didn't get. But the whole having a friend thing, and then you have a girl working for you as staff at your lawyer thing, you didn't even explore those characters, so it really wasn't really needed, was it? Jumping far, where he jumped from rooftop to rooftop type of thing. I mean, you jump really high. What are you, in the 2014 Netflix show? They didn't jump high, you know what I mean? So it was more realistic take. I never knew Daredevil in the comics jumped from roof to roof and everything. Sleeping in water, that as well, I said. Uric, I don't like Uric at all. The character is really stupid. I hate him. I liked him more better in the Netflix show, to be honest. I don't like Uric in this movie at all, ever since he was introduced to the end of the movie. Very slow. This movie does have a slow pacing. I mean, like 60% of this movie is slow. It does take it down a notch where it kind of just drags you around. And Bullseye versus Elektra wasn't that well of a good fight. So now you heard the pros, now you heard the cons. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end up giving Daredevil 2003 with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner a 6.4 out of a 10. I think it, honestly, it's not a good movie. It's more of just okay. If you haven't seen the movie and you're young or something, I do recommend watching the movie just one time and owning the movie, because when you think about it, it's not the worst movie. It's not the worst superhero movie ever. There are worse superhero movies out there. This movie alone, I know 6.4 out of 10. That's not the horriblest grade I could give. Again, there was a lot of cons, but it's just okay. It's not nothing special, but it still shows you how the early 2000s were. It shows you where we went, and then again, some of the CGI effects in here and everything weren't really up to par at the time, but it's just a movie that I think everyone should see that are superhero fans. Just give it a try. And those who have seen it and hate it, I like a few parts from this. This is also great nostalgia just to see every now and then, maybe every few years you go ahead and see Daredevil just for the hell of it, man. So comment down below, let me know what did you guys think about Daredevil from 2003, and yeah, make sure just to tell me if you really enjoyed this review and want to support the channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, guys. I would really appreciate that. I'll see you all for the next one, man. Spock be with you always.